And as it's been reported by Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, if the fight with Deontay Wilder doesn't happen next, then Alexander Povetkin is going to be the next challenger. He's a WBA mandatory. And what people don't realize is they want to talk about the Deontay Wilder Alexander Povetkin fight and how that fight went to purse bids and how Deontay Wilder's team lost the purse bid in that fight. Well, Eddie Hearn just lost the purse bid too. The Dillian White, Kubrat Pulev IBF eliminator, he just lost that purse bid for $1.5 million. So you got this goofball sporting icons, and I gotta call him an idiot. He's an idiot. Hey, well, they couldn't afford to pay $7 million for the purse bid for the Alexander Povetkin fight. So he was forced to go to Russia. It wasn't like he wanted to go to Russia. He was forced to go to Russia. This guy, Andrey Ryabinsky, who is Alexander Povetkin's promoter, this guy's got more money than God. He's probably the richest guy in the sport of boxing. He's a billionaire. So if a fight goes to purse bids and he really wants to, he can outbid anybody if he wants to, if he dips down deep in his war chest. There's no question about it. So does that mean Eddie Hearn didn't have $1.5 million when he lost the purse bid for the Dillian White Kubrat Pulev fight? Absolutely not. See, you know, this guy's an idiot. It's not about, you know, who has the most money. Sometimes you have two sides, and one side may just think that the fight is worth more than the other side, and the other side doesn't want to pay the money that the other side is willing to pay. It has nothing to do with not having money or not being able to afford the fight. You know, it works out better if you know, Ryabinsky won the purse bid for Deontay Wilder because he ended up getting paid more because the bid was higher, and he gets the higher percentage of the purse bid because it's like, I believe it's I think it's a 65-35 split, if I'm not mistaken, or a 70-30 split. So wouldn't it make sense if someone outbids you and they put up more money and you get the larger percentage of that purse? Doesn't that make sense for Team Wilder because they got more money based off of the bid? They got a higher percentage of that higher bid, and his team didn't have to put up anything for it. His promotional team or whatever, his side didn't have to put up any money. I know he's not signed to a promoter, but you know, Lou DiBello or whatever promotes him in New York. But this is the stupidity of this guy's sporting icons. He doesn't understand business. He doesn't understand. You know, well, how come they got $50 million now and they couldn't win the purse bid for $7 million? You fucking idiot, because Anthony Joshua is a bigger name than Alexander Povetkin. So obviously people in the States who are interested way more in this fight than they would be interested in a Povetkin fight. So they were able to find someone to invest money, big money, in this fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. It's just fucking common sense, you dope. You're a fucking idiot. Every day, you know, I put myself through the agony of listening to this guy's videos because the curiosity of hearing if he could come up with something stupider than he did the previous day. I have to fucking listen to this guy sometimes, just to see how stupid he is. Just to see if he can outdo himself and say something more stupid the following day. What a fucking dope. They didn't have $7 million for the Alexander Povetkin, but how did they come up with $50 million? You fucking dope. People invest, casinos, investors, they put up money for these events because these events are big. Jerry Jones was willing to put up a ton of money for Mayweather-Pacquiao. Okay, he wanted to make a bid for Canelo and Golovkin. People that have money are interested in big events, and they're willing to put the cash up for those events. And who's to say that Joshua-Povetkin won't go to a purse bid? Do you think Eddie Hearn is going to be able to outbid Ryabinsky? What if the fight ends up in Russia? What if the fight ends up in Russia? That's a way worse situation fighting Alexander Povetkin in Russia than having to fight Deontay Wilder in the United States. If it's not worse, it's just as tough of a situation. I think it's tougher. Okay? So you may end up not having your next fight in the UK. Okay? You may not end up having your next fight in the UK. You may end up having to go to Russia to defend your title if that fight goes to burst bids as well. And Ryabinsky outbids Hearn, which I'm very sure he's capable of doing, and he may just do that. So, you know, he's going to pass up this $50 million deal with Deontay Wilder, and he thinks he's going to go into a fight with Alexander Povetkin, and everyone thinks that fight is just a layup. It's a cakewalk. It's a given that Anthony Joshua is going to win that fight. You know, Anthony Joshua has problems against guys who are short like that, guys who can grind on the inside. But Alexander Povetkin can punch. Okay, he can hurt guys. He's a good, solid, tough fighter. All right? He'll give anyone a run for their money. So what happens if he gets the home court advantage and they have a Russian commission handling the fight with Russian judges and a Russian referee? Will Anthony Joshua get treated the same way that he would if the fight was in the UK? So the stupid things that people say, oh, the $50 million with a 24-hour offer. Eddie Hearn, you idiot, confirmed that the $50 million is real. And it's still on the table because they're still negotiating. They still want to bring Joshua to the United States. They're still willing to pay the $50 million. Who fucking told you it was a 24-hour offer? All right? That's just hyperbole, okay? Because if there was a 24-hour offer, then they wouldn't be negotiating right now. Okay? It's all just tactics. Both sides are using tactics. We know this. So just because someone outbids someone for a purse bid, it's not because they don't have money, as I said. It's because one side thinks that the fight is worth more than the other side. And in this instance, of course, people in the United States or a casino or anyone is going to want to put up substantially more money for an Anthony Joshua fight than they would for an Alexander Povetkin fight with Wilder. This is a much bigger fight. People are much more interested in this fight than they would be for an Alexander Povetkin-Deontay Wilder fight. It's just common sense. And yes, they are using Joshua's name because that's what you're supposed to do. Like Floyd Mayweather used Oscar De La Hoya's name. Okay? That's part of the game. That's part of the game. Manny Pacquiao used Oscar De La Hoya's name. Manny Pacquiao used Floyd Mayweather's name. That's what people do. Anthony Joshua is the A-side. So, of course, his name is going to carry the promotion. But Deontay Wilder is catching up big time. He's catching up big time. He's got a force behind him right now. He's got a nation behind him. Okay, this fight is getting bigger by the minute. And it's not just because of Deontay Wilder. It's because people are getting sick of the tactics by Team Joshua. They're getting sick of it. So if he doesn't agree to this $50 million, or they can't come to a deal, they don't want to give Deontay Wilder 60-40 to go over to the UK. They don't want to do that, and the fight ends up not happening. And then he ends up having to fight Alexander Povetkin and having to honor his mandatory. And guess what? Guess what? The fight could go to purse bids too. And the fight could end up being in Russia because Ryabinsky's already said that he wants to try to get the fight in Russia. So let's see how much of that supposed $1 billion Eddie Hearn really has. And when push comes to shove, let's see if he can afford to make sure this fight is in the UK if it ends up going to purse bids. That's all I got for now, man. Beavers, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.